What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Happy Sunday. We are here to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, episode 9. Now, listen. I'm sorry. Ooh, jeez. Now, listen. This episode was fucking hilarious to me. I'm just going to listen. There were some things, there were about 3 different parts of this episode that literally had me laughing out loud. And that's really all I got. Okay. I was absolutely in this living room cracking up at some of, and I'm gonna tell you the parts when we get there, honey. I'm gonna tell you. Now, overall, as an episode, it was an okay episode. I feel like we just trying to get to the other side, honey. Things were so bad. Excuse me, things ended so badly. I just felt like we was just trying to get to the other side, child. I don't know. But we're dealing with the aftermath of what happened at Phaedra's house last week. You know, both sides seem to think Kelly thinks that Portia started it. Portia thinks that Kelly started it. K. Michelle says that Drew, that she was talking to Portia and Drew got involved. Drew was like, my name was called, and of course I'm going to defend myself. Child, this whole thing was just a whole mess. And I honestly think it's just, and it was hilarious because, excuse me, because all of them ladies they was like, Phaedra knew I'm gonna get y'all some to-go plates, okay? Because Portia was asking about the food, Pinky Cole was asking about the food. Phaedra was like, child, I'm gonna get you some to-go plates. Now, Portia repeated it. She said that Kelly was sleeping with a married pastor. And y'all know we just, well, not me, but people have spent all week trying to figure out who that person is. That's not something I'm going to speculate on because, again, I'm not going to get into who did what and who's sleeping with whose husband. I'm just not going to get into that. You know what? I didn't start y'all. Oh my goodness, y'all. I literally did not start yawning until I hit that button. I've been sitting here chilling. I've been watching TV. I did some stuff. I'm washing clothes. I'm trying to pack for, I got to pack. I've been doing stuff. And I literally, as soon as I started talking, I started yawning. So I apologize, y'all. But we're going to get through it. Because I'm even going to bed after this after I do this. So, I don't know why my eyes just started watering. I had started watering. So I feel like we've exhausted this K. Michelle conversation about whether who's setting her up, who not. We're gonna get to that later on because of course we're gonna have to have that conversation later on. But we've exhausted it. But I did find it to be funny that Portia, Angela, and Drew, they sat back down to eat, honey. They were like, we ain't going nowhere. We here now. This good food is here. And I'm sorry, y'all. She said I got y'all yawning. I'm sorry. But she was like, we got this good food here. Now Phaedra did go in to talk to the Pinky, K. Michelle, and Kelly. And Kelly started talking about all the things that she has going on, yada yada yada, woo woo woo. Kelly, we're gonna get to Kelly because I have some words for Miss Kelly. We're gonna get to her in a minute. But ultimately, that's just kind of how things went down. The rest of the episode, we kind of talk about, we revisit some things. So the next scene is Shamea going to visit her family. She's talking to her mom and her daddy and her sister, and she's kind of letting them know how things are going. She tells them about the sound bath and how there was a hole in her raft, and she was like, damn, did somebody do it on purpose? Then she talks about Dallas and how the ladies are kind of coming for her, and why she feel like the ladies are coming for her. Right. Phaedra said, pack them a plate. Y'all ain't got to go home. But y'all can get up out of here with that mess. I'm gonna let that cool off a little bit more. I still see the steam coming up off that thing. I ain't trying to burn my tongue tonight. So then she starts talking about the pregnancy and stuff again. And, you know, I do still feel like a lot of this goes back to her having a boy. But she also brought up a valid point as well when she was talking about her daughter and how her daughter, because of her, she said the first daughter, no problem. But then with the second daughter, because of her health issues, she said, you know, that might be my forever baby. And that's okay. She was like, but I don't know if I can do that again. And I think, you know, I know we give Shamea a lot, but I also think sometimes we do underestimate how much is on parents that have children with special needs. And she's blessed to be in a situation where she has nannies and she has money and the things that make life easier, but it doesn't change your heart and it doesn't change how that weighs a lot on you mentally when you have a child with special needs. And sometimes having the money makes it worse because it's almost like I've got all the money in the world and I can't help my child. And so I think that's a valid concern as well that she may be processing through. But again, we had this conversation last week. That's really the only new thing I got out of that conversation. Why can't Shamea look nice for her family? But why can Shamea look nice for her family, but look like she headed to the stroll when she goes to meet Angela? Simone said, "I get what Shamea is saying. I just wish you would see that have that conversation with her husband." Yeah, I agree. I agree. So we see Kelly go to apologize to Phaedra. And this was my first laugh out loud moment. Baby, when Phaedra said, "Do you have on a bra?" And Kelly was like, "No, I don't wear no bra, girl. You know I don't wear no bra." And Phaedra said, "Kelly's titties are like sweet chariots. Swing low, bitch." The way I laughed out loud in this here living room when she said swing low. Now I know we've been giving Phaedra a lot about these confessionals, but baby, that one hit. Baby, that confessional hit. Okay, baby, that swing low hit. First of all, I'm one of those women. I'm very subconscious about having on a bra. I think I've told y'all that before. I don't do nothing without a bra on other than sleep. That's it. That's all. Other than sleep. I'm one of them people. And as big as Kelly's chest is, for her to be walking around without no bra on, and now it looks like she wears like sports bras and stuff. She does wear something to give her some support. Because as big as them things are, you know what I'm saying? As big as them things are, but I don't know. Then she starts talking to Phaedra about how hard she's had it. She's talking about her husband and this divorce and how she. And I told y'all, if I gotta hear her say one more time, she can't film with her kids. And I think she thought she was gonna get a little bit of sympathy from Phaedra, and Phaedra was like, "Girl, been there, done that. Like I done went through a divorce. I know what it's like to deal with a petty ex-husband. It is what it is, girl." And again, what I feel like what Phaedra probably told her off camera was, "Girl, you got to figure out a way to make that work. You're gonna have to film around it. You're gonna have to adjust." And like I said before, you are not the first person to not be able to film with your kids. You're not the first, and you're not the last to not be able to film with your kids. Now I'm surprised she don't be tipping over with them things. Listen, those things are just, and it's because she's so petite, it makes it, I think it's just not proportion to her body. You know what I'm saying? But girl, whatever. We're gonna get, again, like I said, I'm gonna get to Miss Kelly in a minute because I have some words for her, but I want to go on order. I wanna go on order, but you complaining about not being able to film with your kids, girl, find something else. Cause I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of you complaining about it. We done heard you say that 4 or 5 times. And I'm just surprised that production keeps letting you say that. Like every time you say that, you're breaking the fourth wall. And I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised that production keeps letting it go. But anyway, right, won't be the last. Still a little warm. I'll give it a few more minutes. Portia did call Kelly a big titty fly. It was funny. It was funny. Um, why does Kelly tell the girls the truth? What do you mean? Why does Kelly tell the girls the truth? Um, again, I just feel like you you have a lot of other things going on that you could be filming. I mean, and maybe you are and they're not using those scenes. I don't know, but whatever, Kelly, child. But then she went on, her and Phaedra went on to talk about what the beef is and what her beef with Portia is. Now, maybe they cut this part out of the conversation, but if I was Kelly, I would have asked Phaedra, who is this guy that Portia keeps saying I slept with? She said that you know him. She said that y'all that he's one of your clients. Who? Who is this person? Because again, even if you really know who the person is, Kelly, I would fake ignorance. I'd be like, who is this person that Portia? You know who it is. So who she keeps saying, and why does she keep bringing it up? And doesn't she know that that's dangerous? There's 5,000 pastors in the city of Atlanta, and you're gonna have all these people coming after. Like why would you do? Like, can you need to talk to your friend that what she's doing is dangerous. See, listen. Because I would have been playing ignorant, even if I am sleeping with a married pastor. I promise you, I'd be sitting there like, why is Portia saying that? Kelly is managing to mention her kid. Right. She said, you're gonna remember these kids. Y'all want this tea so bad. That's why I keep picking it up, but it's just too hot. Phaedra would have say it though. She does. No, she wouldn't say it. She definitely wouldn't say the person's name. But what I'm saying is that's the way I would have played it. No, Phaedra definitely wouldn't have said the person's name. And I'm glad. I don't want her to say the person's name. But I would have been interested to see Phaedra's response to being asked. I would have been interested in seeing that. But anyway. They tiptoe around Phaedra for some reason. I don't know why. So Angela, Cynthia meet Pinky down at the photo shoot for her daughter. I thought this was cute. I thought this was a cute moment. We saw Cynthia taking pictures with Pinky Cole's daughter, who's doing modeling. She's 4, and then she showed her how to do some poses, and then she sort of showed Angela's daughter, who's also doing like runway and modeling, showed her, and they took some pictures together, and I thought that was really cute. I thought it was cute that Pinky and Angela acknowledged that, hey, we hit a rocky road. We trying to be cool. We trying to figure some things out. And I love when Pinky was like, but Angela, you are messy. You do instigate some stuff. She's like, I don't think you mean to do it, but you do, and Pinky was like, and Angela was like, you know what? I can appreciate that because you kind of called me out, but you brought me back in. You called me out, but you brought me back in, and I can appreciate that. So I thought that was now that you mention it, I'm beginning to believe Portia's story. I don't know. Pinky's daughter has a good attitude for modeling. She's cute. Yeah, she was a little cutie. That was a little bit cutie. Kelly doesn't want any more attention to it. She knows it's true. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't think it's any of the top passes that people are thinking about, but I am starting to think there might be some validity to it. I don't know. Pinky's grown on me. I like her and Angela's relationship. Yeah, she's better. Now this whole job, we're gonna get to Mr. Jarvis in a minute. We're going, y'all hold on. I ain't forgot about Jarvis. We going, because I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say about this Jarvis situation. So the ladies are sitting there brainstorming on how they can try to get the group back together. They said it's really fractured, and Cynthia was saying how she just really not feeling it. Pinky, I can appreciate that Pinky was giving K Michelle's side of the story, right? But can I bring something else up, y'all? In the midst of this whole thing going on, production done fucked up. And we know that they film out of sequence. We know that. We know that they show us things out of sequence. But they done fucked up. Y'all heard K Michelle. K Michelle has said it more than once. Her first day of filming was that scene with Kelly and Portia, which is why she said she was so taken aback, because she was like, damn, like that's what we doing. That's how we rolling up on each other. Like, this is my first day here. But that's not the first scene they showed us. The first scene we saw with K Michelle was her and Portia saying, you know, I'm so glad, you know, I'm gonna bring you around my friends, yada yada yada. So again, that doesn't mean it's true what Portia's saying. I mean, what K Michelle is saying. But what I do find interesting is, like K Michelle keeps saying, that was my very first time being around y'all. And again, K Michelle, I need you to stop acting like you ain't never done reality TV before and you don't know how this works. If this had been Pinky that was so upset, I would give it some validity. But K Michelle, girl, bye. You have done, we did it the other day. We counted at least 6 reality shows that you have been on. And each one of them shows, some of those shows had 5 or 6 seasons. Girl, you have done reality television for probably 10 years of your life. You know what it is. And you've watched reality television because you reached out to Andy about being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta years ago. So we know you watch it. Girl, you know what it is. You know what it is. And did y'all catch when K Michelle started going through the conspiracies and the setups? Did y'all hear her say, and now and my feet? And the producer was like, what about your feet? Because they tried to say I have long toes, but I do have long toes. And I'm going to be honest, if K Michelle had said that 3 weeks ago, I'd be like, y'all, she playing. That was a joke. Ha, ha, ha. But I'm not so sure it is at this point. Anyway. Right. She just adding shit. So Quake says something is wrong with her. Like, seriously. Girl, nobody talking about your toes. If you don't go sit down somewhere. And even if they are, so the fuck what? Now, this next scene is the dumbest shit I have ever seen in my entire life. Kelly is at the dentist's office getting some cosmetic dental surgery done. And her bestie, Shamea, picks her up. And they're wearing matching outfits that they had no idea they were going to wear the exact same outfit. And we end up finding out that Jarvis that Shamea introduced Kelly to Jarvis. So this is somebody in her friend circle. And yes, he's got money. Can I say something right now, right here and right now? When people think something is a flex, but it's not, this has got to be the dumbest shit I have ever seen in my life. You allowed this man to pay for $80,000 worth or $70,000 worth of cosmetic dental surgery, and you about to file for bankruptcy? See, y'all hoes don't be thinking right. I would have asked that man, listen, can we do a small business loan? Can you loan me the money? Can we sit down and let's look at my finances and let's figure out what it's going to take to get me out of debt? Or what do I need to do? Or somehow, some way figure this out for me. And before I took $80,000 from this man for some teeth that I don't need. Now, again, I don't know if she had some other things going on in her mouth that we can't see or we don't know about. But from the outside looking in, it does not look like you need any dental work. Your teeth were looking fine to us. But we also know that your restaurant closed and you talking about something you don't have no money and you're broke. That's what you're talking about. You was crying last week to your mama about how you gonna have to file bankruptcy and this man is $50,000 behind on child support and you don't know how you're gonna pay your bills and your restaurant is about to close, which we now know is closed. See, y'all be that. See, to me, that's not a flex. That's not a flex for you to talk about this man. And y'all sat there, you and your new bestie sat there really bragging on this man and what this man and how great of a man this is and how he got money and he this and he that. Girl, you let that man buy you some teeth instead of worrying about the long-term stability of your financial situation. Y'all be flexing on the wrong shit. Baby, I was like, and then to find out that Shamea is sitting there flexing, talking about some, yeah, because I introduced her, blah, 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 blah. And then the man got you a necklace. And who was that earlier in the chat that said she found a way to mention her kids? So this man got you a diamond necklace with your kid's picture in it. Talking about some, he loved me and he loved my kids. He don't love your kids that much. Because when you asked him to buy you some new teeth, what he should have said was, no, let's sit down and figure out a business plan. I can help you do that for free. Let me see, what is it going to take for this other restaurant in Sandy Springs? Let me pay 3 months of your rent on this Sandy Springs restaurant and help you, so that way you got 3 months to try to stack that money and do what you need to do and advertise and stuff. Like, those are the conversations that we be having. Always Priceless says, and to be honest, if this man has as much money, he understands investment. He's investing in his plaything. He doesn't take her seriously. Ooh, that's valid. So, Kelly, I hate to be the one to tell you, my love, but that was not as big of a flex as I think you thought it was, at least not for me. This leads me to believe that Jarvis is the married pastor. I don't think Jarvis is the married pastor, but it does lead me to believe that maybe you're not telling the truth. Because again, I'm not impressed. That's like when I see people on social media flexing. I'm not impressed by none of that. Because it'd be the same people that 3 months from now be talking about they broke. And I'm not talking about like celebrities and stuff. I'm talking about people in my real life. And I'd be like, girl. Kelly is the main one struggling on the show, but want to talk about Portia and Drew all the time. Well, I didn't think anything was wrong with her teeth, Ravine. I honestly didn't. Now, this next part, actually, I might be out of order. I think the second part of this episode that had me laughing out loud was when Angela was in her confessional and she kept calling Shamea all them names. Talking about some, I mean, I can try to talk to Shamina. What you call it? Shamina. You know, Shalaya. And I said, you know what, Angela, that shit was cracking me up because she was doing that thing so smooth. I said, you know what, Angela, you wrong. You are so, but that thing had me cracking up. I ain't gonna lie, it was funny. But the third part of this episode that literally had me laughing out loud, Shalaya, yes, Shalaya, was this meeting that Drew had with her team. Baby, the way I was sitting here, I had to rewind that thing like 3 times. Baby, the way that thing had me dying. First of all, Drew, why you got a team of 20 people? Why you got a team of 20 people? But whatever, child. When she said, can y'all tell me what the problem is? When her hairstylist said, well, people, they supposed to be, be assistants and they not doing their job. They just lazy. Baby, when that assistant said, hold on, you talking about me? He said, but you're not going to do is sit here and disparage me like that. He was like, I mean, you don't be laying her wig all the time, but I don't say nothing about that. I mean, her leg be lifted sometime, but I don't say we need to get a new wig stylist, baby. The way, when I tell you the way that man cleared all of them in that room, and then when the other guy want to start talking, he said, oh, no, don't you get in this, because how many times you been fired? Woo, baby, that thing. Oh, that thing. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm hot. The hot ass tea. Ooh, got me hot. Ooh, shit. Baby, that thing had me in this. Baby, when I tell you I was in tears. I had to rewind that thing 3 times. I know Oliver better do that. Oliver Sims. Baby, he better do that scene. I don't know how he gonna do it with all them people, but he got to do it because that shit was hilarious to me. Baby, he said, I'll be saying we need a new wig stylist. He said her wig be lifting, and I don't say nothing. Whoo. He said, you barely on the team. He said, how many times you been fired? You barely on the team. And I want to know who was fighting. Drew said that she had that there was a physical altercation. I want to know who on the team was fighting. Cause I know neither one of them was tussling with that assistant. I was gonna call him a big boy. He is a big boy. But I know they wasn't tussling with that assistant. Baby, listen. That's the best part of this damn episode. I'm sorry. That shit had me dying. I said, Drew, that's why you keep them around. You keep them around because they entertain you. Because, baby, that thing had me entertained. That thing had me thoroughly entertained. Boy, the way that man cleared that room. Do you hear me? He cleared that room. Ooh, child. Drew kind of trying to get a Candy in the Gang spinoff. But I tell you what, I tune into that. I would tune in to them. Them people right there. Oh, I tune into them. The assistant, the driver, yes. The driver and the assistant, yes. He cleared that room. Baby, they ain't had nothing to say. Ooh, that thing was funny to me. That thing was some kind of funny to me. Drew and the team, yes. Listen, I'd watch it. I don't think we got nothing resolved in that meeting, but it was funny to watch. But I don't think nothing was resolved, okay? Not a thing was resolved in that damn meeting, but it was funny to watch. So next we see Portia, Pinky, Angela, and K. Michelle coming together. To try to get the ladies to talk and make up. Now, I thought it was absolutely hilarious that as soon as Portia and Kelly said something nice to each other, spoke to each other and said something nice, baby, the sky opened up and it started pouring down raining. I said, I did notice that people started getting up and leaving the room. Yes, I did notice that. Now, K Michelle, they're sitting there talking, and Cynthia and Pinky leave so that the two of them can talk, so that Portia and K Michelle can talk. Again, y'all, I think I'm exhausted with this conversation, but they do talk it out. Portia, K Michelle does apologize to Portia again. And then when Pinky and Cynthia come back to the table, Cynthia said, "Well, girl, who is plotting? Like, where's the plot coming from? Who is the person that's doing the plotting against you?" And I do believe at that point she did say then Kay started all over again talking about. She said, "Come on, Portia, come on, Portia. Now, Portia, come on." And I was like, "We about to start fighting all over again." I mean, damn. But again, I feel like she's still trying to blame. Now she's trying to blame it on Drew, child. Now she's trying to say Drew is the mastermind. Listen, I'm exhausted with it. I don't have nothing else to add to it. Portia accepted her apology, but we know they're going to be fighting again in probably 2 more episodes. So, I mean, it is what it is. But they did talk it out. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and y'all know I'm not even saying this to be funny. I promise y'all I'm not saying this to be funny, and I'm certainly not trying to diagnose nobody. But K Michelle is giving me very bipolar tease because I just be confused how she can go from one extreme to the other so fast. Like, you were so convinced that Portia was out to get you, and Portia was doing this and Portia was doing that. Oh yeah, the friend contract. Oh, I knew exactly what they were talking about. I mean, that's one of Cynthia's most famous moments is the whole friend contract of it all. Kay going to continue to blame everything on Drew. Yeah, she going to blame on Drew and Portia. Because she believes it. She really believed that these people are plotting. Now this last scene, I'm going to be honest and tell y'all, listen, this last scene, Shamea and Angela, they weren't ready to have a conversation because Angela invites Shamea out so they could, clear the air, I guess. And K Michelle gave you a headache. I'm sorry. They say after every episode, K Michelle proves Rashida right. So Angela asked Shamea, like, girl, like where did we go wrong? Like what's going on? Where did we go wrong? So Shamea was like, look, I'm not understanding what the deal is. Like, I'm not understanding where this came from, because it seems like, you said that I'm the issue. You blaming me. You saying that, I'm the problem. We were in Dallas. You said that I'm the one that's instigating. And, so I'm not sure. Like, maybe you need to explain to me what the issue is, because I'm just not sure like what the issue is. So Angela was like, well, Shamea, I'm not really coming for you. Like, I mean, I really felt like you were instigating. So it seemed like, I'm not going to say I feel like both of them came in on 20. I just feel like neither one of them came in there ready to resolve anything. Because I think Shamea came in there more or less to tell Angela how she felt. And why she, why you putting it on me, and I'm upset. And Angela, I feel like, wasn't ready to really resolve anything with Shamea. And so it turned into a whole back and forth, and now they insulting each other. Now they talking shit to each other. And that was just pretty much it. Baby, the poor waitress. That waitress was like, I'm going to get this order. I'm going to get my camera time. Shamea said, I'm not talking about Portia. I'm not gonna bring this up. I'm not gonna make any of this about Portia. She was like, this is about me and you. I'm not talking about Portia. And Angela was like, but this does have something to do with Portia because that's where it started. Like, you really feel like I'm the reason why your relationship with Portia ended. And I'm gonna be honest, Shamea, Angela's not the reason why you and Portia's friendship ended. Did Angela carry a bone? Yeah, she did. She carried a bone. But there wouldn't have been a bone to carry if you and Portia were as close of a friends as you pretended to be. It wouldn't have been a bone to carry because you would have told Portia yourself how you felt. Right, Raven. The salmon kebabs did sound yummy. But honestly, this was just them. Yeah, Shamea is not ready to accept her part in any of this. Like, she's not ready to accept or acknowledge her part in any of this. And Angela, I do think Angela was trying to have the conversation, but Shamea came in hot. I mean, Shamea started here. She didn't start here and work her way up. Like, she started here. You know, I think Angela thought this would be a normal, girl, let's just talk about it. Let's apologize. Let's eat and let's go home. And Shamea came in on 20. But I'm going to be really honest. See, this is the problem with having a fractured group when you are filming these types of things. Because I think the reason why Shamea wasn't so quick to apologize to Angela or to allow Angela to talk is because she knows she got a squad. She knows she got a crew. You know what I mean? She know that she has Kelly, you know, she's got Pinky, she's got, I don't know who the hell else she thinks she, K Michelle, you know. Angela was targeting Shamea and she has not acknowledged that. I agree. I think in that last, I think when they were in Dallas, I do feel like Angela came for Shamea. I agree with you on that. You know, because Angela, you should have. Now, I agree with you on that, Angela. You should have apologized because you did kind of come for her. You did come for her, honey. You did come for her. Mm-hmm. Yep. If she didn't have a crew, she would have been able to have a better conversation. Yeah, because she came in on 20. I'm sorry, she came in on 20, and Angela, you know. But you're right, SCK. That's a valid point. That Angela didn't come in like she was ready to apologize. So you're right. That's a valid point. That's a valid point. Um, Facts. Angela did try to put. Yeah, she did. She did. Is it possible to fix your video feed so you are not blurry every single podcast? What's the problem? You must be new here. Is it possible that you could have said that in a nicer way that didn't come off as rude or disrespectful? Hmm. So, at the end of the day, I'm ready for the you and your mama. Yeah, I'm kind of ready to see that too. Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway. Um, that's actually pretty good though. Like, honestly, that's actually pretty good. I mean, I lost my whole train of thought now. But the end of the episode. But the episode overall is pretty good, is what I was trying to say. Let's see how things work out. What with Angela shouldn't have said anything about Gerald either. Yeah, she did make a little nasty comment about Gerald. Yeah, she did. On behalf of Gemini's, I apologize for whoever that was being rude. Child, you ain't got to apologize for nobody. You ain't got to apologize for nobody. Oh, Candace. Candace fell off the sky, honey. Hey, boo. Yeah. And the thing is this. There's a way to say something. You could have said, hey, really be you're a little blurry on my end. There's a way to say that, But again, at the end of the day, for those of you who've been here, you know that it's not blurry on my side. So I don't know when you guys are seeing a blurry picture, because on my side, I'm clear. So I don't know when it's blurry on your side. It's my internet, which I thought the internet was doing better because nobody has said anything about it being blurry. So I thought it was actually doing better. I don't know. The reunion is going to be good. I do want to kind of see how this whole thing is going to go down with Portia and Shamea. I do want to see how it starts, because Portia makes it seem like Shamea just kind of really came at her so disrespectful. I don't know. I want to see how we got here. Yeah. That was pretty much it, y'all. I was at the end when old girl made her comment. I was just kind of at the end anyway. Again, y'all, I don't see that I'm blurry. It's better. It just depends on what the wavelengths want to do. I might just have to go back to and change my internet back, because I don't like that. I don't like. Now I'm gonna say this. I felt like the way she said it was rude, but let me know when it's blurry, because I'm thinking that it's not blurry anymore. So, and I appreciate that y'all aren't complaining. I know that, but I thought I had fixed it when I put the extender. I thought I had fixed it. So the fact that it's still blurry, I might have to just go back to my internet, just go back to paying what I was paying. I might just have to go back to my internet, because I just can't. I can't do it. I'm gonna have to call the people tomorrow and tell them that that they're gonna have to send another. I don't know. I'm gonna have to call them tomorrow and tell them that the internet isn't great. It wasn't blurry earlier today. Yeah, I think it just depends on. I think it's just not a strong. I think it's just not a strong internet signal. Okay, so it does go in and out. Okay. Kelly did a weird interview and said she was with Jarvis for BET weekend. Oh Lord. What'd she say that for? No, it's not hardwired. No, it's not. Yeah, maybe I could do that. Ooh, Kelly, what you do that for, child? I might have to do that. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm gonna have to see how to connect it and see if that'll work. Cause I'm saving so much money, y'all, doing my internet through AT&T. I know, right? Every time I do this fan, y'all think about T. It's weird, really be you're blurry on my TV but clear on my phone. Huh. That is weird. That is weird. Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out, y'all, because I don't like it being blurry. We'll figure it out. But again, there's a way you can say things and not be rude. I've had Xfinity before. Xfinity is expensive. I'm trying to save money. If I'm gonna have to change internet, I'm gonna go back to the internet I already had, which was Verizon. Yeah, if I have to change, because Xfinity is I've had Xfinity before. I don't like it. As a matter of fact, I changed from Xfinity to Verizon because Xfinity kept the internet kept going down. The internet kept going down. So that's why I changed. That's when I had Xfinity at first, and then Comcast, and then I changed it to Verizon because the internet kept going down, and I could, when the internet would go down, and sometimes it would go down for hours. And so I went to Verizon, and I've had Verizon for a while, for probably about 4 years. My fan says shade. It says shade. So, but Quake, you bring up a good question. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can try to hardwire it, see how that works. But with that being said, you guys, let me get out of here. I'm going to go to bed. I got internet through my phone. That's what I did. I got internet through AT&T. That's my phone service. My phone service is AT&T. So that's why I'm saving so much money, because everything is bundled now. My phone, my internet, my cable, it's all, you know, I have DirecTV, which is AT&T. So it's all the same thing now. So I'm saving over $100 on just the internet alone. And then I saved money off of my phone bill. So yeah. So that's why I was like, I really don't want to go back, because I'm saving a good little piece of change. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't want to go back, but if I have to, I will. But I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. With that being said, y'all, let me get out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.